Okay, this is awkward occurrence, awkward entertainment. We're gonna get right into this. Mr. Chad DayBell was arrested. Let's see why. And why do I call this an obvious plot?
Human remains have been found at the home of Chad DayBell, whose wife Lori refuses to say where her two missing children are or even if they are alive. It's a heartbreaking development in a case that has gripped America. Police gave few details in a brief roadside press conference.
Investigators and detectives have recovered what's believed to be human remains that are not identified at this time. I do want to add that Chad DayBell, who resides at that residence, has also been taken into custody for questioning.
51-year-old DayBell was seen being led away from his home. No charges have been filed. His wife is Lori DayBell, who is already behind bars and who is refusing to reveal the fate of her children, JJ and Tylee. They have been missing since September. She was extradited to Idaho to face charges of abandonment and denies any wrongdoing.
Let's get to the next one. I believe he's been booked on charges. Has he been booked? I believe that's what one channel is saying. He's been booked. Now, I'm gonna tell you why it's obvious plot, in my opinion.
And today we have major developments out of East Idaho at this hour. Earlier this afternoon, Chad DayBell, the husband of Lori Vallow, whose two kids, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan, been missing for months, he was taken into police custody. Rexburg police saying they found human remains on Chad DayBell's property. We have team coverage for you this afternoon. Our Gretchen Parsons starts us off in studio now with more details on today's developments. Misty England is live in Rexburg. We'll get to her in a...
Okay, here's my thing. I'm gonna play the video. What now made you check the backyard? And that's not even my question. People saying Miss Lori Vallow slipped up on a phone call. Like, why didn't you check the residence in the first place? Like, you guys went all the way to National Stone Yellow Park and you did a search there, but no one thought about the obvious. The obvious was, well, maybe we should check their yards to see if they bury anything. No one thought of the obvious. I mean, it hasn't been confirmed or said who body it is or how many bodies or how many remains. But if I'm hearing he's been arrested and now he's been booked, it must be the kid's body, right? It must be the kid's body. Like, what connects him to those bodies? I'm just saying, what connects them to the bodies? If Lori did say something, that's the only reason I can think. That's the only reason I can think he's in jail right now, because Lori said something or slipped up. Because for them to arrest him for bodies that they don't know belong to who, they don't know if he put the bodies there. Come on. Come on, y'all. Come on. All right, dang.
moment. But Gretchen, start us off with what happened earlier today.
Well, Kim, Rexburg Police, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, and the FBI served DayBell with a warrant at 7 a.m. this morning. Police confirmed that the warrant was related to the disappearance of Lori Vallow's two children. Chopper video from East Idaho News appears to show authorities...
So they served him with a warrant at 7 that was related to the missing children. They found human remains. They don't know who body it is, but they arrested him and booked him. Like, did he not think to leave? I guess he couldn't leave because the warrant said he couldn't leave, but the warrant was just to search the property. Like, dang. Like, who buries bodies on their own property? Like, this is not the smartest people.
Searching underground on DayBell's property in Fremont County. And yes, they did find human remains. Those remains haven't been identified yet, and authorities wouldn't say if they were from just one person or maybe more. Authorities also wouldn't comment whether the remains were from a child or an adult. And while Chad DayBell is in police custody, police said they were taking him in for questioning. As of right now, he has not been formally charged with the crime. And as we've reported, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan have been missing since last September. Chad's wife, Lori Vallow, has refused to cooperate with authorities regarding...
Since September. You ain't got to say last September because we haven't came up on September again. But let's continue. Somebody said Mr. Chad DayBell looked skinny. He always looked skinny from the first time I saw him back in December. He always looked that skinny to me. I don't know if people paid attention, but let's continue. Let's continue.
The whereabouts of her missing children.
All right, Gretchen, thank you. So, Misty, I want to turn to you now because, like Gretchen, you've been working this case from the very beginning, and this is yet just another chapter in what has been a very long, convoluted story with so many twists and turns. So I want to kind of bring in your perspective on what you're seeing there in Rexburg.
Absolutely, Kim. So let me just give you, kind of set the scene here where we're at. We are here in Fremont County, and we are about a mile away from Chad's house. It's just up this road here. You can see behind me the police have got that blocked off, and they've done this several miles away from his house in all directions. This is about as close as we can get here. But I do want to remind you that this is not the first time law enforcement has searched Chad's house. They were also there in January. Of course, a much different scene there. Several feet of snow, frozen ground at the time. But they did search back in January. Now, this house that we're talking about is the one that Chad shared with his ex-wife, Tammy.
All right, January. Okay, frozen ground. You couldn't come back in February. You couldn't come back in February with all the money you guys get from taxpayers and pour hot water all over the ground or find something to heat the ground up. Okay, March. You couldn't come back in March and do this. You couldn't come back in April, May. Oh, now it's June. But no one thought to search the freaking yards for bodies. No one after all this time. Oh, okay. It hasn't been confirmed who body it is or if he had anything to do with it, but okay.
DayBell. And of course, you'll probably remember we've talked about her a lot. She died last October, and her death has since been ruled suspicious. Investigators exhumed her body in December to do an autopsy. We're still awaiting those results. Her death is currently being investigated by the Idaho Attorney General's office, and both Chad and Lori are being investigated for possible murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy related.
As soon as they said they were investigated, or were going to be investigated for that, we should have known that something like this was going to happen. But Gannon Stouch, they still haven't finished Gannon Stouch's autopsy. It's been since March, right? They say his body's so decapitated, not even decapitated. His body just looked like crap. It's so much crap that they haven't done a complete autopsy yet. Right? That don't make sense. It don't make sense. I don't care how rough a body look. It doesn't take 2, 3, 4 months to do an autopsy. Like,
to Tammy's death. No formal charges have been filed on that at this point. Now, police did not say what exactly investigators were looking for on the property back in January, what led them to the search warrant or today, but we do know, as Gretchen mentioned, it's in connection with Lori Vallow's 2 missing children, J.J. Vallow, who it would now be 8 years old, and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan.
Well, J.J. not hers. J.J. is Charles Vallow's nephew. He belongs to the 2 old people you always see on TV. The 2 old people never came back for JJ. I don't know why they didn't take custody of JJ after his uncle died. Because Alice Cox killed JJ uncle, which is Charles Vallow. This is another weird part of the story. They never came back for JJ after Charles Vallow got killed. That's so ridiculous. I can't believe that. I cannot believe they let JJ stay with this woman and that crazy man. They let him. They might as well sign his death certificate Cause they just let him stay with. No, it's crazy, man. Crazy.
They have not been seen
No.
since last September. Both Lori and Chad have refused to cooperate with law enforcement up to this point and provide any answers about where the kids might be. Because of that, Lori is currently in jail on charges of child abandonment, as well as several other charges, and she was arrested back in February in Hawaii. We reported on that. She's been extradited back to Idaho and is currently in custody, has been ever since. Her bail has been denied multiple times, and that kind of brings us back full circle to today, where again they found some human remains on Chad DayBell's property, have not identified those yet, have not provided a lot of other details at this point, and now Chad DayBell currently in police custody for questioning. Kim?
Well, Misty, you know, this was such a shocker to all of us because for the longest time, Chad just kind of sat back as a silent player in all of this. I mean, I remember when Lori was first brought in to the court.
Chad didn't even look worried in the courtroom. He don't look like he was guilty of anything in the courtrooms when he was going to Lori's arraignments and bond hearings.
Room in Hawaii and him sitting there in silence behind his wife. I mean, was this a shocker to you who has worked this case for quite some time?
I may say your name wrong. How you doing, Ephesia? Miss Haynes?
You know, it wasn't, Kim. You know, we've heard Chad DayBell's name over and over again in connection with this case because he is such a key part of it, but the focus has mainly been on Lori and the kids at this point. And of course, when she was arrested, Chad was not, because he is not the legal guardian of the kids, even though he's married to Lori. And so that court order that she was provided back in January to provide those kids, which she didn't...
He should have ran as soon as they arrested her. If this comes out to be the kid's body, being as stupid as he is to bury bodies in his own backyard, you should have ran. You should have dug those bodies up, dumped them in a sea somewhere or whatever, took them to Hawaii, dumped them something. You should have ran. These aren't smart people.
Obey. That was the reason behind her arrest. I know a lot of people at the time questioned why Chad hadn't also been arrested, and that's the reason for that. So it is a little bit of a surprise that we're kind of seeing developments, just in my personal opinion, with Chad, because it has been kind of a background player, so to speak. Lori's been the focus, but again, his name has come up over and over and over. Lori and Chad are just synonymous names with this case.
And everybody wondering, of course, what has happened to those children. I know you all tried to ask questions of authorities. They were very tight-lipped. But Misty, the timing of these developments today, I mean, man, boom, boom, boom. And in the world of news, a lot of times we have to wait when they find something, which makes you think, not to get too graphic here, but it makes you think they were confident in what they found at that property for them to tell us within hours that they were human remains. So it seems like we waited for a while, but it seems like developments are really coming in quickly now.
Right, and again, they just had a little brief press conference earlier today to mention about those remains that they had been found, and they did say, you know, they don't have a lot of details at this point to tell us, but they did want to make sure and go ahead and put that out there, be upfront with us, with the public, about what they had found up to this point, because they want to try and put a stop to all of the speculation, the social media rumors about what's being found, what's not being found. So that was their reason for putting out the information that they did.
Yeah, but they haven't said what's been found. Then she just said they want to stop all the speculation about what's been found, what hasn't been found. Have they told y'all what's been found? Because I haven't heard a word.
Up to this point, but really, as far as any more details, police are still working on that as well.
Any idea on what's next in this case? Have they talked about when or if Chad may be arrested? If so, what charges? Have they given any inclination on that?
Not at this point, Kim. Again, they said they're just kind of waiting for more details, and then they'll provide those to us as they get them. They did not take questions from the media earlier today about any of that, just said he is in custody, being questioned, no formal charges. And I did reach out to Rexburg PD just a little bit ago to follow up on that, and they said still no comment on charges at this time.
All right, Misty, thank you for those developments. Again,
Okay, I'm going over to YouTube and just check on some information. Hold on. Now, what I'm looking for, just any updates, any title updates. Oh, okay. They just plunder, Miss Plunder. Okay, Zero Bond. Sometimes you could just read titles. You ain't gotta listen to the videos. That's why I love it. Zero Bond. Felony charge of destruction and concealment of evidence. What could that be? What could that be? Okay, concealment of evidence would be the human remains. Destruction of evidence would be the human remains, right? Because they found, only evidence they found were human remains. So that would make me think those are the kids' bodies. Let's keep going. There go Mr. Dead with a phone. I'm just reading the headlines. But how obvious. There go Mr. J is for justice. Okay, Miss J for Justice is online. Oh my gosh. Do we want to go and see what people are saying? You know she turned the comments off on her Suzanne videos, right? So I'm just wondering if anybody's talking junk. Let's go see. Let's go see.
Earlier, he was like, that red thing is over here in the left-hand corner.
Okay, I just want to see if anybody talking junk when she about the Suzanne videos. That's it. We're just stopping by. We're not gonna play her content. Just stopping by. Let me see if I can do it this way too, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna go through one. Let me see. I just want to see if anybody talking junk, y'all. Okay. Does anyone have video of the January search? Well, January, they said, it was too cold, ground was hard. They didn't want to bring out the big tools. People act like police don't have big power tools they can dig into the ground through ice, through hard ground. I don't know why. Anyway. Has anybody concealing... I'm just looking for comments about Suzanne. I see Armchair Detective is doing a lot of psychic witchcraft videos. By psychic witchcraft, he has a lot of witches on his show. We'll go over there. He does a lot of witchcraft stuff. He has a lot of witches as guests. No. Okay. Nobody's talking about Suzanne. Okay, hold on. That's all I want to know. Who's talking about Suzanne? Like, that's it. The crime went right to the burial spot, so it's more likely not older remains. The crime scene officers went right to the burial spot, so it's most likely not older remains. It is older remains. If it's the kids' remains, it's been there for some months. Like, at least some months. Who else? Mommy, I don't know. Mommy Cash Reborn. Hold on. So nobody's talking about Suzanne in her chat. At least that's all right. All right. There go my crazy live stream. Let's see. 208 for Tuesday. 9. House. Gary Hughes is on. Gender Free TV. I can't stand his channel. I cannot stand his channel. Alright, I'm going to the internet. I think I'm the only one. I think everybody is at J's for Justice, so I'm the only one right here. So okay. I'm going to go cruise. Everybody is over at J channels. Hey. I am going to go cruise. Chad DayBell. I'm going to go cruise. I am not staying on her channel. Lady, we heard you already, lady. Don't do it. Don't do it. They like to do dumb stuff. They do. They do. They do like to do dumb stuff, though, man. When I put one thing, they do another. I'm like, okay, whatever. They like to do dumb shit, whatever. How you get all the way down there? Do. Now I gotta watch it down there. You come up here. 11 hours ago. 11 hours ago, Chad DayBell arrested. It was 11 hours ago, right? Yeah. I wasn't gonna cover this. I wasn't. I got bored. I was doing something else. All right. Oh, okay, so it's looking like this is coming to an end, y'all. Well, this little story. Because if this is the remains of the kids, is there a need for a trial? I don't think there's a need for a trial. They're going to go to trial and say, what? I didn't put the bodies there? What's the likelihood the remains don't come out to be the kids? That'll be another twist. You know, he gets arrested for remains that aren't the kids. Maybe he killed a friend some years ago and he buried the friend in the backyard. You know, since they say Chad and Lori love death was a part of their belief. Getting rid of people was part of their belief. A mile from, so he wasn't at home, nigga. Excuse me. How do you not get away? You should have been on left. Did he not know they were searching his property? Like, they caught up to him a mile away from his house. Did you not know? Like, how much money he had in the bank? Over $80,000. You couldn't leave. You didn't pay Lori's bail. You had over 80 grand. I would have left her ass. I would have left Lori. Like, gone. I would have got rid of the bodies and left Lori and just left. No. First off, I wouldn't be out here talking about I'm a cult leader. A cult leader. He see dead people, spiritual visions, after death experience. I'm like, no. I wouldn't be hosting no End of the World podcast. So the bodies was in his backyard the whole time while I was in Hawaii. Okay. I remember they told him you got what? They gave him 5 or 7 days to deliver the kids. This is when they first found them in Hawaii. They gave him about 5 or 7 days to deliver the kids. These boneheads did not run. They should have ran. Another thing is, if your kids are missing, nobody gives you 5 to 7 days to make them appear. That's one of the things in the plot that made no sense. All right, I'm going to end this out. Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna end this out in a little bit. Might go see what Jay is doing. I just want to see what people talking about in Jay's for Justice. Armchair Detective. He does too much witchcraft for me. It's like he has a witch on his show every day. Anyway, I believe it to be the kids' remains because they wouldn't have arrested him, Mr. Chad DayBell. It's crazy, man. Why would you bury kids in your own backyard? Then police, the obvious location of search would be the suspect's backyard, in the yard or front yard. Even if you had to dig up the entire yard, that would have been the obvious spot. That should have been common knowledge. That's why I named it obvious. Obvious plot. How's that not obvious? Like, maybe we should check the front yard. How's that not obvious? Like, we suspect you guys killed the kids, but we're not going to check the front yard and dig around your house. But we suspect y'all killed them, and they're missing. How was that not obvious? I don't know. Anything else I want to add to this? Anybody want to add anything to this? Anybody want to add anything before I close this out? Dang. We will see. We will see. Well, they're going to take a plea deal. I'm just thinking, if it is a kid's body, it's looking like it's the kid's body. Because he's been charged with felony for destroying evidence and concealing evidence. Only life in prison. That's the only thing they're going to get is life in prison. You're going to take this to trial and do what, yo? And tell them what in court. Like, tell them what. You didn't kill them, but they was in your front yard, your backyard. What you going to tell them? Hey, come on. All right. This has been Awkward Occurrence with Awkward Entertainment. If I get more information, which more information will come out, I'll see y'all. I will come back live. And I will see y'all in the next video. Come on, dog. In the backyard, dog. You couldn't throw them in the ocean? Come on.